Hello, Mustang fans, and welcome to another episode of the Mustang Owners Podcast. I'm John Clore. I'm the Enthusiast Communications Manager for Ford Performance, and I'm joined with my co-host, Mike Ray, who is the president of the Mustang Owners Club of Southeastern Michigan and the International Council of Mustang Clubs. Mike, I'm telling you what, we're going to have a lot of fun tonight. This is going to be a special occasion because we usually don't make, breaking news announcements, but this time we're going to make an exception.
You heard it here first.
That's right. Folks, we always said everybody has a Mustang story. So that's why we work so hard to bring you all the great Mustang stories out there with all the cool cars, the clubs, the collectors, the celebrities, and the characters in this Mustang world. All we ask is that you make sure you click on there's a subscribe button to the Mustang Owners Podcast so that you can make sure you're notified every time we upload a new episode. And so tonight, folks, we want to introduce two guys who are out there making a name for themselves in the Mustang community to try to make something memorable for us. So we're joined tonight by Dan Buckley and Freddy Connor. Dan and Freddy, welcome to the Mustang Owners Podcast.
Thanks.
Thanks for having us. We appreciate it.
Well, you guys, when I first heard about what you were up to, I thought, what is going on? I mean, usually anytime anybody does anything, Mike, and you can validate this even when it comes to events, there's always an ulterior motive. People are working hard because they're going to do an event, or they're looking for a promotion, and then when I met Dan and Freddy, I said, these guys are going to do something for Mustang, and the ulterior motive is make Mustang cool.
There you go. That's the best kind, right?
So Dan and Freddy, why don't you guys introduce yourself? Your company is doing something very special coming up on March the 9th, and I think you're trying to put an exclamation point on 60 years of Mustang. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your project and how you came to that point?
Sure. Well, so we've been, making films for 20 years, and myself and Dan, we set up a commercial company a few years ago, and have been doing, international commercials, commission work, and it's been an exciting adventure. But one of the things we said from the very beginning was that we wanted to do a big car commercial. And basically, we decided we're going to do it ourselves. We're going to do a speculative, just to be, clear, this isn't a sponsored commercial. It's something we're doing speculatively for our creative adventure, basically. And Dan knew Norm Murdoch from Team
Norm Murdoch. Mike, do you know Crazy Norm of the Capri?
Yes.
Norm lives life, guys, as you already know, as you're dealing with him, with that right foot planted to the floorboard.
Oh, yeah.
That's Norm.
That's definitely Norm.
So you met Norm, and that's when your life started going downhill, saying, well, I've got this cinema. You guys have all this cinema experience, and you've got this little company. What is that? It's out of Columbus, Ohio?
Yeah.
Yes.
And because I guess Norm races a lot at Mid-Ohio, doesn't he?
He does.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So your paths crossed, and then you got infected by Norm Murdoch.
Yeah, Norm had a Mustang, and it's a really cool Mustang. And we're like, okay, this is perfect. We know somebody with a racing team that has a Mustang. We want to do a car commercial, and it just worked out perfectly.
Well, yeah, we sat down with him. We said, look, we have a crazy idea. Okay. We want to basically do a Hollywood, epic commercial, self-funded, to which he turned to us and just said, I'm in. When do we start? This was what's so cool about him is that he was just, we spoke to a lot of our kind of filmmaking friends, and, one person I had did a kind of budget breakdown. They just said, I mean, this is going to cost millions to do this. How are you going to self-fund this? So we thought outside the box, and we
called in every favor we could.
Exactly. And we thought, what better way to, get this opportunity to do something for this iconic brand than just, create it ourselves with someone as passionate as Norm. And
it just happened to be the 60th anniversary.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. It was
perfect. So what was it? I mean, you guys, you wanted to do something because you got him hanging around with Norm Murdoch, and want to do something with Mustang. And where did you get the idea of a spec commercial? I mean, it's an unsponsored project. You guys could have done a short film, a YouTube short, but to actually, the way you created this thing is you wanted to do not only a spec commercial, but from what I understand, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, guys, you wanted it to be within the parameters of these 60 years to like put a, I don't know, your own filmmaking exclamation point on 60 years of Mustang. So why this commercial, and where did you want to see this go?
Can we start?
Yeah, go for it.
Well, so we've, I think collectively we've been making films for about 20 years, done lots of shorts, feature films. I actually started as a film producer, many years ago, and had been directing, shorts. I did a TV series, pilots, and the thing was for us was we wanted to do kind of the most epic narrative speculative commercial we had seen. That was kind of the goal. It was a new challenge. We'd been, so the last kind of 3 years we've been getting commission work. We did a commercial in Cairo, London, and Paris for a jewelry brand. We did a commercial for Matt Brown, another commercial for Buster Douglas, former heavyweight champion. And we thought, let's do something that will be very challenging and will kind of go against the norms, and that it's a story that spans from the 1940s to modern times. We had professional actors, character-based scenes. So we kind of brought our narrative history to a commercial, and we thought, this would give us the most creative freedom to really go for it. And
the Mustang's perfect. It has that long heritage. It's had numerous model updates, and everyone's as crazy about each update as they are the last.
Yeah.
Well, and that's what Dan, I got to tell you, that to me, but that got us excited when I first met you guys. And Mike, I don't know if Mike is a veteran of Hollywood movies when it comes to Mustang. Mike appeared in A Faster Horse, which was David Gelb's epic. Mike, it's really the story of the S550.
Yeah, the birth of the 550 and what goes behind it, kind of behind the scenes and all that. And yeah, definitely got our 13 seconds of fame when they filmed me for 13 hours and I was in there for 13 seconds. So
hey, 13 seconds, I'll take it.
and to quote Mr. Gail Halderman in my format, way too much chlor, not enough Ray.
Well, we got some cameos in that. So when I heard you were up against doing this spec commercial, I said, well, Ford Performance has to get involved. We got to get the Mustang community involved. So for those of you who don't read FordPerformance.com, we'll give you a couple of seconds to make it a favorite. Okay, now it should be on your favorites list. Just February 11th in 2025, as you guys, I hope you saw it on Fast News from Ford Performance, as well as on FordPerformance.com. Mike, I ran a piece. And these guys sent me all the info. So I wanted to tell the world that, hey, there's going to be a world premiere of this spec commercial. And then after this date, people can go click on your YouTube channel, guys, and download it. Now, is your hope that they save it and play it at different car club meetings?
That would be amazing. We just hope it gets shared as much as possible.
Yeah.
Okay, so you do want it shared virally. So Mike, I put a headline down. I said, enthusiasts make their own spec commercial video for a reveal on March 9th to honor 60 years of Mustang. And I made it our What's Happening piece, which we run every 3 weeks. And I said, every once in a while, a group of grassroots Mustang enthusiasts become so passionate about a Mustang that they do something special and they want the whole world to know about it. Well, Dan, Freddy, that's essentially what you want to do. You put all this effort into making this spec commercial that you made on your own, not particularly for any vendor or any person, is for a Mustang person, and you want everybody to know about it. So I said, a group of Mustang owners, racers, and fans in the Midwest teamed up with some filmmaking creative types, which are you two guys, and you made a promotional video to mark 60 years of the Mustang. It's a privately funded spec commercial video, not affiliated, sponsored by Ford. A lot of people, when they see it, I'm because I've been blessed to be able to see it already, and you guys, you would think that Ford spent some money and paid for this, but it's not. It's privately funded, and you guys, put this together on your own, Cinelescence LLC. And after a year, it said in your press release, as almost a year of putting this together, you're finally ready to put it out there. It's 60th anniversary Mustang spec commercial world premiere at the Gail Halderman Museum down in Tip City, Ohio on March 9th at 12 noon. So people can get to see the film, meet the creators, which is you guys. And we're going to give away a free Mustang 60 years poster and do a tour of the museum. And that Sunday, you told me that you're going to put it on your YouTube channel for Cinelescence. You have your own channel for the company. So my question is, Mike, are you ready to go check this thing out and see how do you compact 60 years of Mustang passion into what, guys, about 4.5 minutes?
3.5 minutes.
3.5 minutes. Yeah.
3.5. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. I know.
3.5 minutes. Mike, how long was a faster horse? 2 hours.
Yeah.
This is why it took us a year, and the thing that we didn't reveal in the press details that we sent you is that we spent about 6 months developing this. So we treated this like any narrative story structure, with 3 arcs, with character depth, with goals, objectives, challenges. It follows a grandfather, preparing for his last race and talking through, the generations of Ford, starting with him working with his father on, the Model A in the 1940s to 1960s and 90s. So we, the other thing I'd love to say is one of the reasons we became more and more passionate about this is we started talking to the community, talking to certain car owners, because we were doing this, unsponsored with our own funds, it was very limited budget. And the passion from the car owners that we met with, the passion from, it really kind of spurred us on. We thought we need to do this, not just for our own creative venture, but it felt like the community were really kind of supporting us and wanting to see this kind of come to fruition as well. So
yeah, people were very excited to do this. They were excited to see their cars on screen. They're excited to help out. And they're going to be just as excited on March 9th.
Well, absolutely. And the cool thing is getting hooked up with the Gail Halderman Museum. And Mike, darn well that one of the cars in Gail's museum is a Model A. And people who know Ford, there's some thought to the lineage between a Model A, or at least the Model B with the V8 when it came out in 1932, as the precursor, if you will, for having V8 power in a small lightweight chassis and the torque that it gave you and that feeling of it's kind of like the Mustang spirit started where you guys started your spec commercial with this passion with this young man working with his in a barn, I believe, with that old Model A. Yeah.
With his father, yeah.
And
Mike, don't you think that's why Gail had the Model A in his barn?
Gail had to have one of everything. So yeah, he appreciates it all, and he likes to go from start to finish. So, and he basically almost touched everything that in his whole era at Ford.
Yeah, right up through the fourth gen Mustangs, and and then talk about a legendary person at Mustang in the world of Mustang. It's Gail Halderman. So you guys are going to have this premiere. You're going to show this spec commercial, and then you're going to try to drive people to, the idea of, hey, let's go check it out and then maybe share it. If you have you have a Mustang Club meeting coming up, and what's the best way for them to get this shown at their event, guys?
I would say to stream it live on YouTube.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think that's the best way.
Yeah.
So March the 9th, which is that's a Sunday.
Yeah, it'll be live at 8 p.m. EST for the YouTube channel.
We'll be premiering it at 8 p.m. on our YouTube.
So obviously the museum at Gail Halderman Museum, it'll be 12 p.m. noon for the screening, and then we'll have it live, that evening on YouTube for anyone that can't attend.
So guys, what we can do too on our end is we can live stream it too, put the links on it on like I got my personal club here in Michigan, but I also am the president of the International Council, so we can put it on there so everybody around the globe can see it that night.
That would be fantastic.
That'd be wonderful. Wonderful. Yeah, we'd love that.
So the best way for them to do that would be going to YouTube. Would they search for Cinelescence?
They could search for Cinelescence, or they could just go directly youtube.com/@Cinelescence.
And spell
Okay.
Cinelescence.
Yep.
That's Cinelescence. It's Cinelescence. Guys,
Thank you. Yeah, thank
that's
you.
we want you to go online on maybe 8 p.m. Now, I'm not saying, Mike, that if you don't want to wait till 8 p.m., you can't make the drive to Tip City, which is about 30 minutes north of Dayton off I-75. It's only about 15 minutes in off the interstate there. And if you want to come join everybody at the barn to see the world premiere, it's going to be kind of fun. You guys will be down there. Are you bringing some of the cast?
Yep, we've invited all of the cast and crew. There's a lot of people who have been asking. I mean, the whole year we've been working on this. Every week we get emails, and so the cast and crew will be attending. We've got the wonderful cast and crew. They've been very supportive.
The Mustang owners will be there.
The Mustang owners will be there, and also we wanted to hold it at the museum because obviously the legend himself, right? And also Karen Koenig has been very supportive to us, a wonderful person. It's such a great venue, and we also wanted people to know more about the venue. And some people we spoke to had never attended, so we thought, what a great way to get them to come and find more about the heritage.
Yeah, come down, meet you guys. You can get that little backstory before you show this spec commercial. I'll come down and represent Ford Performance. We'll talk a little bit about Gale and the 60 years of Mustang to try to recap the great history, and then do a tour of the museum, and then bam, at noon, time to watch it. Then Mike, I will make sure that you'll have
give me the links ahead of time, and we'll get it all out there and try to share it with some other clubs that we know as well.
Right, and then what'll have to happen, Mike, is that you and I will be sitting around talking to Norm Murdoch, and then we're going to have to do the 61 years of Mustang with the Mike Ray story. And how the heck to become president of 3 clubs and steering this Mustang community. So, Dan, the thing that struck me is just the club interest, not just because in the Columbus area where you guys are from, there's the Mid-Ohio Race Course and there's all those clubs, but the Mustang Club of Ohio is big down there. You got Cincinnati. There's just a big Mustang footprint. Were you guys, yourselves, just interested in Mustang just as a cool car even before you started this project?
I would say I was to an extent.
Tell them your story about.
So I was 18, 19, working as a lot attendant at it was Dick Rule Ford here in Columbus on Sawmill Road. It's now it's Germain Ford now, but I was working there, and I had my first car as a Ford 89 Ford Thunderbird, and it was on its last legs. So, but you're a law attendant, you're driving every car Ford makes, and of course Mustangs come through the service drive, and I'm driving them, and I'm like, okay, that's it. I'm getting a Mustang Cobra. But I'm 18, 19, and I have no credit and really don't have the money. So I ultimately ended up with a Ford ZX2, an Escort, which I love.
Those are awesome.
It was awesome.
Yeah. Little Z-Tech. Do you have a manual?
No, it wasn't a stick.
Automatic Z-Tech. Yep.
Yeah, it was
those
still
things will run forever. Great little car, Mike.
Yeah, it was funny. I was talking about Escorts at work today. So that's funny.
Yeah. So that's like a poor man's Mustang.
Yeah, I did the best I could. I didn't get a lot of trade-in for the Thunderbird, so.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. Well, at least you were steeped in the Fords, and you said one of these days.
I was.
If you win the lottery, you're going to. Well, you did a great service. Spending that time and working with you, Freddy, to get this this little piece put together, and now being able to share it with all the Mustang clubs. Mike, I know you've got. How many? I don't know what the hard number is of the Mustang clubs in the International Council, but in the Ford Performance Club Connect program, we've got over 600 registered Mustang clubs on 6 continents.
That's a lot.
Yeah. We're not in Antarctica yet, unless you guys want to go start one.
We'll do it.
Talk about that.
Hey, we did this commercial. Why not? We did this spec commercial. Let's move on to the next challenge.
Now, speaking of commercials, the Mike Ray has a commercial right now on his chest. Mike, why don't you talk a little bit about Mustang Owners Podcast merch?
So Mustang Owners Podcast apparel is live on the svtstore.com. We have hoodies, we have jackets, we have polos, we have t-shirts, we have hats. Anything you can possibly think of, it is on there. And me and John are starting something this year. If we see you at an event wearing any of our apparel, you will get a free gift from us that day at the event.
Now, I won't tell you what the gift is, and I know it's not a Matchbox car or a Mustang. But
I'm sure it'll be different here and there.
we've been getting some emails sent to clubhub@ford.com saying, hey, what's the gift? You shouldn't be asking for the gift to wear the cool merch. That's all I'm saying, okay?
Gotta
And
love
now-
people, gotta love it.
I know you do. But Mike, yeah, absolutely. We want you to wear that. And of course, now that you're listening to the Mustang Owners Podcast, you can get to find out cool projects like what Dan Buckley and Freddy Connor are doing for the Mustang 60, doing a spec commercial out there so we can all share it coming up. And now March the 9th, really cool date. If you're talking into that window of the 60 years of Mustang.
That should be a trivia question here.
Yeah, it's a trivia question coming up. For those of you who don't know March the 9th, I mean, everyone knows April 17th, but March the 9th is when the pilot plant, they started building the very, very first Mustangs that come off the line, because they had to build, for weeks before they can get them shipped all over the world, really. They're up in Canada and all over the country to the West Coast, because on April 17th, 1964, at the New York World's Fair, we're going to tell everybody about the Mustang, and every dealer had to have one in their dealership. And you guys really picked a cool day. You picked a cool place, and if you don't mind us saying, you picked a cool topic. And we're kind of excited for you guys. We're hoping that everybody can come out on March the 9th and take a look at the world premiere, or at least get signed in at 8 p.m. Sunday, March the 9th, and that's the YouTube channels. And you go to Cinelescence. It's CINELESCENCE, Cinelescence, and on the YouTube channel, and look for this cool Mustang spec commercial. Freddie and Dan, all I could say is congratulations. What's next? Are you gonna? I mean, what if a club calls you and says now they want you to do a spec video?
Well, I don't think we're doing any more specs.
Yeah, this was our one chance. Like, as I turned to my girlfriend and said, "Hey, I'm gonna do something crazy. I'm gonna fund my own spec commercial. I've been professional for 20 years. So what are you doing?" But certainly, we have, our passion for the Mustang has only just begun, and we've met some wonderful people and look forward to staying engaged, And we also have quite a big documentary working on at the moment with some UFC legends, and we have several commercials that are lined up. So we're definitely keep ourselves busy. But this has been such an exciting experience for us to be, to work on something that we're passionate about with such an iconic brand, such a great group of people. It's been amazing.
Yeah, we want to keep being creative.
Well, absolutely, and showing off your expertise there, and for those who want to get into content creation and do some film work, Cinelescence LLC in Columbus, Ohio, would be the place to go. So check out this spec commercial, everybody, on March the 9th, and check it out online. And remember, this is for us. And these two gentlemen spent a whole year of their lives doing this. Mike, I guess the next time they do something really cool, they want to get paid.
Yeah, don't we all?
The nerve of these guys.
Oh, boy.
Well, Dan Buckley and Freddy Connor, thank you so much. We're looking forward to see the Mustang, 60 years of Mustang spec commercial coming up on March the 9th. We really appreciate you taking your time out to visit with us here on the Mustang Owners Podcast.
Appreciate it.
We appreciate it, guys. Thanks so much for having us.
See you on the 9th.
It's been fun. Thank you.
Well, folks, that's a wrap for this edition of the Mustang Owners Podcast. But don't forget to check out the enthusiast section of FordPerformance.com this week. And if you haven't already done so, you can get your Mustang Club or Facebook group registered on FordPerformanceClubConnect.com. And for that matter, you can get your Mustang registered with Ford Motor Company at the Special Vehicle Registry. You can also find out what Mike's Mega Club is up to by visiting Moxum.com. And as always, we welcome your comments and suggestions that you send to us at clubhub@ford.com. So until next time, we'll just have to catch you down the road.